Hello and welcome to Buddies Much. I'm Andrew. I'm joined here today with
Sean
and
Chase.
And with great power comes great responsibility. That's right, we're talking about Spider-Man today. Sean, why don't you start us off?
the Webhead.
What are we talking about specifically? Are we talking about the movies?
We're getting specifically into Spider-Man's presence in cinema.
So the cinematic universe, if you will.
So for all you comic nerds, for all you video game nerds, you're just gonna have to wait your turn. All right.
Well, I mean, we might dip our toes a little bit.
We'll dip our toe in, but you just sit there. You sit there and wait for me. All right. Let Daddy explain.
Okay, so
In chronological order.
okay, so
Are we starting with 1970s?
We're starting with 1978.
Oh, I thought we were starting with Tobey Maguire. We're going all the way
all
back.
the way back. I'm
Oh,
on
great.
Wikipedia right now,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I'm just
that
learning
was-
about this 1978 Spider-Man movie in Japan. There are 2 sentences about it.
Is this the one where he didn't talk the whole time?
I have no idea.
There was one where he didn't. It was a live action. He didn't talk, and they had just like bubbles where they'd be like, "Be good, kids," and just like random stuff like that. Is that this one?
I have no idea.
Oh,
I haven't
what-
seen it. There. Okay, here it's 2 sentences. Here's exactly all they say about it. July 22nd, 1978. Toei. I don't speak Japanese. Released a theatrical spin-off of their Spider-Man TV series at the Toei Cartoon Festival. The film was directed... Oh, man. All these Japanese names. Was directed by a Japanese guy who also directed 8 episodes of the TV series. And just like it, the TV series goes on. But, chronologically, there was a Spider-Man movie in 1978. I just learned that, and now all of you just learned that.
Yeah, I did not know that. I was under the impression that Spider-Man 1, Tobey Maguire, was kind of the OG. What started it off? I mean, that's what started off my childhood. Was
Oh,
the
yeah,
Tobey
oh, yeah.
Was
Maguire.
good old Sandman.
You're right. It was the Sandman in that one, wasn't it?
It was 3,
in
right?
2000
No.
in Spider-Man 3
Spider-Man 3, because that was
2007.
Venom with
with Sandman.
Spider-Man 1 was Green Goblin.
Green Goblin.
The
Freaking
Gobbers.
And it was 2 Doc
Willem
Ock?
Dafoe.
William DeFriend.
He was Dafoe in that one.
One of my favorite.
2. Defoe.
No, I love like the Sam Raimi ones.
Yeah, I like them too.
I mean,
I didn't care for the third one, but I like the Tobey Maguire ones. That's the one I grew up watching. I thought he did a good job.
I think that's what it is the nostalgia.
Yeah, I think so too.
Now, okay, it's been a minute since I've watched
The first one?
the first 3, I guess.
Yeah.
Wasn't he like really angsty in the third?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
Emo
so-
the Spider-Man.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
got the symbiote, and there was that whole storyline where it attached to him first, and then they had like a nasty breakup,
And then I went to Eddie Brock.
and it went to Eddie Brock, played by Topher Grace, who's the douchebag from that '70s show,
That's right.
and he
I
didn't pull it off.
I did not like him as Venom, no.
No.
That was kind of weird.
It I don't know. Everything I've seen him in, he's been like funny. He's like a comedian.
Yeah, he was in I think he was in like Ocean's 11 for a little bit. In the beginning scene, he's like some like badass poker player, and it was really awkward. He's just like a scrawny dude, and he needs to stick to
it's kind of awkward.
the funny roles.
He
But-
nails that genre of the awkward guy.
Yeah, he was a weird Venom though. However, I did like Green Goblin and
Yeah. Nailed.
I like Tobey Maguire. I liked that Aunt May was old. I know that's weird.
They keep trying to make her sexier in
Aunt
each
May-
new iteration.
Yeah, Aunt May's getting younger and younger, so she's gonna be the same age as Peter Parker. But
I don't remember the name of the actor who played Doc Ock. I can look it up. Here.
I don't know him either. But I enjoyed the first 3 Spider-Mans. I'll be honest, I didn't care for the Andrew Garfield ones. I don't remember them too well, actually. So you're gonna have to fill me in.
That's
on those
funny
ones.
because Andrew Garfield ones are my favorite.
Really,
Yeah.
I don't even remember the villain. Was Shocker a villain in that one, or
No,
was it?
Shocker was the new ones. You're
was-
thinking Electro.
Oh, was
Jamie
that-
Foxx
Jamie
Electro.
Foxx
Jamie
plays
Foxx.
Electro.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
did not like
That's
Jamie Foxx as Electro. but I liked everything else.
Yeah, they try to come up with these excuses for the villains to just hate the hero for whatever. But like Jamie Foxx, Electro, like goes up to him and is like, "Will you come to my birthday party?" And he's like, "Sorry, man, I can't make it." And then he's like,
Time to be a
"Damn
superhero.
you, Spider-Man!"
Not so friendly, are you, Spider-Man?
This villain is so stupid.
See, one of my favorite things about the Andrew Garfield ones was, one, how they killed off Gwen Stacy.
Like brutal.
I remember
Like-
watching that movie in the theaters.
That was
And
actually
one, I
pretty
love
cool.
Emma Stone. She's one of my favorite actresses. And
When her head hit the spoilers. When
Yeah,
her head hit the
Massive
concrete.
spoilers.
Oh man, I cringed. So I was like, "That's a good scene."
I
Wham!
I remember in the theater just like, oh my gosh, did they just kill her off? But of course they have to because of MJ.
Well, that's exactly how it happens in the comics. Is
Right.
that he fails to catch her, and that's like a big guilt trip.
And I don't know. I liked Andrew Garfield more, I think, just with... Because compared to the first one, the Tobey Maguire, he didn't have the web shooting out of his... Or
Yeah,
have-
that's a great point because the Tobey Maguire one, he didn't have webcasters. I'm pretty sure.
It would like mutant came out of his wrist.
Yeah, which has never been the. Well, I shouldn't say never because of comics, but most of the time has not been the case. He's always had the webcasters.
But Peter builds his own.
Yeah, and I'm glad the Tom Holland one and the Andrew Garfield one built the webcasters into the suit. And Spider-Man's had a ton
Well,
of suits.
I mean, Andrew Garfield built his own, and then Iron Man
built him for...
built
Right.
them for him. Kind of
But-
stole his thunder.
No,
But
no.
that happens in the comics.
Spider-Man has
Then
his
Iron
own.
Man gives him all his stuff.
Iron Man has built multiple suits for Spider-Man because there was the Mark 1, the Mark 2, the Mark 3, and the Mark 4.
But not like OG running around in a sweater too.
I'm pretty
no.
sure Tom
But there
Holland...
have been because Tom Holland makes his own, and then Tony Stark finds out like, oh, that's
Yeah.
cute, and then he makes
That's
the
what I was going to
suits
say.
for him.
He
But
made it
that-
better.
But that does happen in the comics.
Because I guess you haven't seen the first... Or the new one yet, Sean, have you?
What's
Homecoming?
The Homecoming?
with Mysterio? Is that what you're talking
No,
about?
not Homecoming.
Oh, no,
Far
no,
from home.
No,
Far from
no,
Home.
no, sorry.
With
It was,
Mysterio.
it was the first one. Because Spider-Man takes the suit, right?
In Civil War, because
No.
Tom Holland's
Sorry, I guess
in
that
home
was his first.
in Homecoming,
with Vulture.
with Vulture, Tony Stark gives a suit to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And there's a software built into the suit that limits him to only use the basics. It's called the Training Wheels program.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he finds out and he overrides it because he's like, screw this, I want to use my electroweb, I want to use all this other stuff.
can live up to Mr. Stark's potential.
And of course, he fails miserably. He can't use the suit at all because he didn't do the proper training. It comes back to bite him in the butt.
Right, but he takes the
And
suit
then-
away. But remember
Yes,
the Walker
and then
part.
at the very end, when he's like, "Hey, we want you to be an Avenger," he gives him the suit that we see in Endgame, where he activates insta-kill and all that other stuff. That's the different suit, and that suit is in the comics as well.
Right, well, what I was talking about with, like, he made his own webcaster fluid. 'Cause-
In the beginning,
Before Iron Man
Right,
gave
because
it to
after
him. Yes.
Iron Man took that suit, he goes into school, lifts up the lockers, and pulls out his old suit and
and his
old, like, jug of webcaster fluid.
yeah, that's
Maybe-
right.
Maybe it's been a minute since I've seen those.
You're right, because he does. Iron Man gets super pissed off at the boat, and he's like, "Hey, you shouldn't have done that." Takes away the suit, and he goes back to being I call him
The
sweater
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man. Yeah,
Sweatpants Spider-Man.
Sweater
yeah.
spider.
But you're right. I
More
I like
mothball
that they
Spider-Man.
kept the webcaster thing. I don't know. I think it was nice.
And like, as a bit of a segue here.
No, yes, go.
Comparing the three Spider-Mans. You have Raimi's Tobey Maguire in the first ones. And I liked that he was awkward and nerdy and kind of an outcast. And that was exactly what you wanted to see in Peter Parker. But as Spider-Man, it was like, sure, he was quippy, but I didn't really feel like he nailed the superhero bit. But then with Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield comes out and is like, this cool kid skateboarding through the
Yeah,
halls, like,
I agree with that.
and that's like, of course, he nailed the Spider-Man bit, but he didn't nail the Peter Parker bit. And here is my very confusing opinion on the new Spider-Man.
yeah, I'm curious.
I tried explaining it to these
and
guys before.
I didn't get it. So let's try again.
Okay, Tom Holland
Okay.
is a good actor. He
Okay.
nails the awkwardness of a teenage Peter Parker, and he nails the quippiness and the wit of the superhero Spider-Man.
Okay.
Not Tobey Maguire. Tom Holland is a great actor for Spider-Man.
All right, I agree with you.
They put him in terrible movies.
Okay.
So if you put Tom Holland's Spider-Man in pretty much any other movie, would have nailed it.
So let's take it from the beginning. The first appearance we see of Tom Holland as Spider-Man, I believe, is in Civil War.
Civil War.
So you did, as a whole, you did not like the movie Civil War.
No. I mean, in Civil War, Spider-Man wasn't playing like a huge part. He was just
No,
like,
but that's fine.
I'm Spider-Man, and it's like,
Tony's
cool, it's
secret
Spider-Man.
weapon.
But going to like Spider-Man's solo movie in
Homecoming.
with
Okay.
Vulture,
Sure.
he's got like these friends, like what was his name? Ned, something like
Oh,
that.
The big guy.
The big kid.
Yeah, I thought he was kind of weird.
He was weird and like immediately reveals his secret identity, which is a big deal for Spider-Man.
He didn't reveal
He
it,
didn't reveal his identity.
Ned
he
found
got
out.
caught.
The movie immediately revealed
but
his
also
secret
at the
identity.
end, Aunt May found out.
But
Aunt May found out.
But Aunt May finds out in the comics.
Okay, I will give you that. Aunt May.
She finds out, but granted, she actually finds out that he's Peter Parker after like somebody beats the living crap out of him and he comes home bloodied.
Yeah,
it's
I mean-
it's like a whole big thing. It's not like, oh, I'm late for dinner. Oh, Spider-Man. Like, okay,
Yeah,
that was a
no, no.
little underwhelming, but I understand it's a movie. My biggest gripe with I like the Tom Holland movies. I think they're good. My biggest gripe is Zendaya as MJ.
Yep. Okay, go. Yep.
So
Tell me about it.
I could kind of put up with Tom Holland's friend just because I'm like, you know what, they're teenagers.
They're trying to get like a goofy kid in there.
Yeah, and like, you know, all of us as teenagers, if we were to look back, we would cringe. Like you know.
Yeah.
So a little bit of cringy moments. I thought Zendaya as MJ was just weird. I thought her attitude was weird. She's this weird like loner rebel, but like
Goes to detention just for fun.
just like
yeah.
she's like the weird quirky pick me girl. And
Look
I
at me,
just-
but don't look at me.
yeah, I felt like I
She
don't
was
know.
two different characters in the two movies, though.
It's
From
yeah,
the
that's
first
true.
and
But like,
second,
I feel like
completely different.
when I watched the movie, it was like I didn't like her, and I didn't see that they were like making me want to like her. I felt like they were like, "Oh, this is MJ, and she's annoying." That was her whole shtick, and I'm just like, "Okay, like I get it, you nailed it," but like I wish it wasn't that because MJ in the other movies is pretty important,
Yeah,
and she's not.
like a big motivator.
Yeah, and he's got like a crush on the
There was no
the girl.
MJ in the Amazing Spider-Man, right?
No, it was Gwen.
It's Gwen
It was just
Stacy.
Gwen.
Gwen
Yeah, because
Stacy.
Gwen died, then they never made more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So wait, would you rather have had Tom Holland, like,
but like Spider-Man's had multiple flames.
right,
Yeah.
He was in love with
Pizza,
who's-
Black Cat.
Black Cat. He's
They
in love
should
with-
make a Black Cat movie.
I kind of wish they would.
I would
but-
watch the hell
And
out
then
of that.
Black Cat made his suit black, and
So if you put
you know,
Tom
Made
Holland
him
in
angsty.
like the Sam Raimi
Yes.
ones,
Yes.
would that have been cool?
Yes.
I
mean-
I think
'cause he
that's
would've been a
so
fetus.
hard to judge because like this. I mean, the Sam Raimi ones were in 2002,
And those were really good.
and
And he would have been a baby then.
Yes. You stole my joke.
Baby Spider-Man.
oh, that's funny.
But back to, before we move on
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Zendaya, she
that-
does the thing that I hate the absolute most in these superhero.
the quippiness, right?
No, not the quippiness.
Oh, that-
it's
that-
I know.
I knew you were a
Yeah.
superhero the whole
Oh,
time.
Yep. I forgot about that.
Of course I knew.
I am.
I'm not stupid. It's like, come on.
Like best friend didn't know for a while,
Yeah.
and yet she's just like, oh,
Like
it's
my
better.
aunt found out.
Oh,
Like,
there is one part I want to talk about in the. This is a very specific scene, so this is kind of, in the Tom Holland movie, it's Spider-Man: Homecoming. It's with Vulture. Crap, I can't remember who plays it. Who is it? The guy who plays Vulture.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. Thank
Yeah.
you. So Michael Keaton, who's Vulture, is taking Tom Holland, or sorry, Peter Parker, and the girl he has a crush on, who does
His daughter.
Yeah.
to the prom.
Yeah.
On the way to the prom, he finds out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, which I'm okay with because he pieced it together. He heard
Sure.
his voice.
Sure.
And he's like, oh, you're the guy that's been stopping me.
Yeah.
And then the girl walks in. He's like, oh, I need a minute alone. And he's just like, oh,
Gives him
I
the
know
choice.
you're Peter Parker. Don't get in my way. All right, go to the dance. And I'm like,
Have
dude,
a good time, bud.
that's so awkward. And then like he leaves, and then they fight. It just seems so awkward. I was like, you had your chance. You had a gun right there. Take the shot and just start the fight now.
He didn't have his vulture suit.
I guess, but
True.
like
I mean, I feel you 100%. But
he didn't have his Spider-Man like fit.
Well, I'm pretty sure
with-
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man doesn't need the outfit to be agile and strong.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like grown ass adult
And he would
with a gun.
with a gun.
You got a teenager in the back seat. You know he's like ruining your business, and all you're doing is just like, all right, have fun. Please don't mess up my plans. Like, what are you doing? It felt really awkward.
There's
to
also
me.
the daughter.
And then he
side of
immediately
things.
leaves, and the goon gets him.
'Cause
and
his
I'm like,
family
this
had no
is
clue.
So weird.
If you guys watched the YouTube channel, How It Should Have Ended, they do a joke about
Do
that
they
scene.
really?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
like holds the gun over the seat and is like, "Don't try and get in my way." And Peter Parker just like pins his arm down. And is like, "I have super strength. What are you gonna do now?"
I did want to touch on something with the Tom Holland Spider-Mans. What do you think about the whole not doing Uncle Ben scenes? I really like that.
That they didn't do Uncle Ben.
Yeah.
I think like
I
and
felt
I,
like
I don't
the-
want to speak for you, but I think like that kind of goes like it's like another origin story, because like I feel like that's what everything is now, is an origin story, and we've already had so many origin stories with Spider-Man. I think they were just like, listen, we're bringing him into
Like, you know the
Just
story.
You know the
everyone knows
story.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
like
I
we're
really
bringing
like
him
that
into
they didn't do
Endgame,
that.
and so they just kind of were just like
Like, how
we
many
don't
times
need
do they have to
develop
kill
it.
Bruce Wayne's parents? Like, it's not necessary. We know he doesn't have parents.
So I do agree with that. I'm glad that we didn't have to see that all over again. I am actually. I mean, Vulture's a cool villain. I think they could have chosen a different one, to be honest, but it was all right.
I mean, I like Vulture, and
Okay.
I love how even across different directors and stuff that they're trying to spread out the Spider-Man villains, because
Yeah, it
there's
wasn't
so
just
many
Green
good-
Goblin the whole time.
Yeah.
that was nice.
and then there's Electro, there's Shocker,
Mysterio.
there's Mysterio, there's
was
Vulture.
Rhino in one of them? Wasn't he in number one?
No, Rhino was
Was he in two?
Was he one of the henchmen?
no. There was a scene with Rhino.
No, that's the one with the.
Am I thinking of a video game?
No. There,
There's
like
a scene
he's
with Rhino.
he's in like a big mech suit, and he like bursts through a building.
Wasn't that
you're
Iron
right.
Man one?
Doesn't he burst
No,
through?
no.
Is it like a bank, or he hits like
Yeah.
a car and it goes flying?
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember if it was like a trailer or if it was like an end credit scene or
It was something weird.
But Rhino was quote unquote in the movies.
I can't remember.
Are there any villains you wish that would have been in there?
Scorpion.
Scorpion. Okay.
Dude, Scorpion is so cool.
Okay.
And I wish that they would do a good Venom.
Okay.
Please, for the love.
Wait, go back. So Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans. So on the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans, they had Peter Parker's best friend, who ended up turning into
Harry Osborn.
Harry, yeah.
Right.
James Franco.
Is Harry Osborn in the comics too?
Yes.
I believe
As like
so.
his best friend.
yeah,
So there's
that's-
Norman Osborn, like head
The
of
dad.
Oscorp,
Right.
and then Harry, MJ, and they were like best friends.
Now, that Norman becomes Green Goblin, and doesn't Harry become Hobgoblin, or does he become Green Goblin? I don't
Now,
remember.
That was something I was confused about, especially in Amazing Spider-Man, because like you see Harry Osborn, and he's on like the glider, and he's got like the weird hair, and like is that
Hobgoblin?
is that Hobgoblin?
I don't know.
Or is that Green Goblin?
That's
Well, I guess my question.
either
was,
way, I don't know.
like, why didn't I guess the new Spider-Man universe with Tom Holland, I guess they'll probably never do the iconic Green Goblin ever, just because of the whole friend thing, unless his best friend turns into something.
You know what I've actually been hoping that they'll do? Because, like, the whole secret identity thing is such a big deal. They probably won't, because it's Disney and, you know, they don't really care about accuracy in their movies. But, for Spider-Man to get that guilt trip about his identity, if they just, like, kill Ned.
No, they're not going to do that because you haven't seen the newest.
Oh, I suppose not.
I guess it's time to spoil it for Sean.
Yeah, spoil it for me. Give it to me.
Mysterio
Kills
gives
Ned.
no, he gives away Spider-Man's identity to the whole
Oh,
world.
no, yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know
okay,
that.
okay.
Yeah. But, like, that's what I was kind of hoping that they do. Because, like, Ned and MJ, quote-unquote, know his identity. And he's like, oh, yeah, sure, it's fine. Like, I wanted a villain to just be like, oh, you know who Spider-Man is? Bang! And then have, like, Spider-Man be like, no, I can never tell anyone again. Anyway. Now that all of the... Oh, not all of the Spider-Man. We're going to circle back around to Into the Spider-Verse. But before we move on, I wanted to talk about Venom.
Okay.
The Tom Hardy Venom.
Standalone movie Venom.
Standalone movie Venom.
Go for it.
And, like...
Go ahead.
Sure.
You have the floor.
Here you go, bud. So, the symbiote and Spider-Man and Venom are so closely connected in their
Yes,
stories
Very much so.
that it made absolutely no sense to have a standalone Venom movie.
I agree with you 100%. That's one thing we definitely agree. I don't think Venom should have had its own movie.
Yeah.
It should have been in collaboration, even just for a brief moment with Spider-Man.
With Spider-Man. And I mean, I know that there's that whole, like, Sony owns Spider-Man and Marvel was borrowing him for a little while, but now, like, Venom is over here and owned by someone else, and they couldn't do Venom in New York, so they put him in San Francisco, and it was a cool concept.
It just wasn't Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
I love that they explored, like, the relationship, because I love Venom. Venom is one of my favorite villains of all time in comics. But it wasn't what it could have been.
I'm kind of blanking. So, the Venom movie, I know a little bit about, like, the symbiotes and the generations and how they're born and all this stuff. But who was the villain? Venom fights. Is it Riot? Is it Riot?
I thought it was Toxin.
Oh, is it Toxin?
Maybe it was Riot. I'm gonna
I
look
thought
that
it was
up.
Riot.
Maybe I'm.
Or is that the second movie?
Let me look
I
that
guess
up.
there's a second movie, Carnage.
no, we're talking about like the
The
Venom
movie that come out.
No, there's another Venom movie coming out.
Yeah, that one will be about Carnage.
That one's about Carnage.
With Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Isn't that going to be good? I'm excited for that one.
I thought he fought Riot. Or
Let me look that up.
which
I mean, maybe you're right. Yeah, you're totally right. It is Riot.
and if I remember correctly, Riot as a symbiote is actually super weak because he fuses with 3 other symbiotes. It's Riot and 3 others to become like an ultimate symbiote. And they
Not in the movie.
no, not in the movie, but in the comics, I'm pretty sure it's Riot and 3 others that have to form. It's like it's an all or nothing deal to become one symbiote, and I don't remember what they go by. But I was really confused in Venom because Venom's a bad guy.
Well,
And you end up rooting for him, but at the same time,
I mean, that's what an anti-hero is.
I mean, I guess, but he's still a bad guy. Like, he's not really an anti-hero. He's Spider-Man's villain.
No,
they made him good guy.
Yeah, and it's
I mean, that's just confusing what an anti-hero is. Like, they're thinking like, oh, Venom is an anti-hero. That means he needs to be a good guy. But it just means that it's a bad guy that you root for.
no, I understand, but like, is Venom an anti-hero? Is he just a villain?
That
Eddie Brock is
it depends
a different
on
person.
It depends on who the symbiote is attached to.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Deadpool is an anti-hero. Archer is an anti-hero.
Yeah.
I
Archer?
like Sterling Archer.
Oh, okay.
For
I was
my,
like,
Yeah.
he's an anti-hero.
I guess.
He does whatever he wants.
An
He doesn't-
anti-hero is a dick that you like.
Exactly. I
Captain Jack Sparrow.
I was just confused
Yes.
because it just has like.
Like
you know,
like
you're-
someone who's despicable, but you're like, oh yeah, I hope he does the thing, and you're like, oh, that's an anti-hero.
Anyway, I didn't think he needed his own movie. I thought it was okay.
Yeah. And like in the comics and the video games and whatever, Venom is a juggernaut. Like, he is a problem. But like, he came off as such I mean, maybe it's because he just barely fused, but like, I don't know. They did my boy dirty.
And I'm pretty sure Venom's fused with pretty much everyone in their dog in the comics.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, let's jump into the Spider-Verse, which I've actually never seen, but I know a little bit about it. So,
Animation, awesome.
yeah.
It
Very-
it was like watching
So-
a comic book.
Very visually appealing.
So again, I've never seen it. Break it down. What is the movie about? It's about all the Spider-Mans sharing the same universe. Is all the Spider-Mans coming together? What-
It's like the multiverse is splitting because Kingpin is
Kingpin made
Okay.
he's trying to do a Liam Neeson. Gotta get my family back.
I want my family back.
Yeah, and so
He creates like
Did
this
he get his
dimension-
family back?
Sort of.
Okay.
He gets like this dimension machine, and it starts ripping the dimensions apart, and all the Spider-Mans merge.
Okay, so by all the Spider-Mans, we have Miles Morales,
not all. I mean, there's
We
quite a
had
bit.
Peter-
There's Pig.
Peter Spider-Ham.
Spider-Pig.
Do we have Peter Parker?
Several iterations of Peter Parker.
Okay.
Gwen,
Spider-Gwen?
Spider-Gwen
Spider-Gwen.
was there.
who I think was voice acted by Emma Stone.
Was it?
I don't know.
Actually, I don't know. I shouldn't
don't
say
know.
anything
Well,
because
Let me look it up.
I
Here we go.
shouldn't talk if I don't know what I'm talking about.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Did they have Noir?
Who voices you?
Did they have the Spider Noir in there
Yeah.
from the 1930s?
Voiced
Yeah.
by Nick Cage.
Wow,
That's
that's the one where he's in like all black with the fedora.
Yeah,
and-
yeah.
yeah.
Spider Mech. I like Spider Mech just because it goes to one of my favorite video game characters, Diva from Overwatch.
Oh, okay. I actually really like Miles Morales as a Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
no,
hope he
like,
actually
he's super
gets.
tight.
I wouldn't mind having a live action movie with that.
Honestly, like, I get that, like, oh, the dimensions are collapsing and there's all these different Spider-Mans. If you had made, like, a movie about just Peter Parker, Gwen Stacy, and Miles Morales, perfect. I would have loved it. The only thing that I didn't like was, like, the Spider-Pig jumping in and being like, hey, I'm here too. And it's like, ugh, get back to the cool stuff.
Was Spider Pig ever real, or was that just the Family
No,
Guy
that-
joke? That
That was
No,
actually a real
that's a
thing.
thing.
okay.
It was a mini series where Peter Parker became a Spider-Pig.
Or okay, that's.
I think
Is
Peter,
that- is
it's
that the
Peter
same-
Porker.
he was
please.
Peter Porker,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Peter
that's right,
Porker.
Peter Porker. He was bit.
He was a spider bit by a radioactive pig.
Yes, or something like that. It was a mini series. It didn't go on for very long.
Is that like the Pet Vengers?
I think
Where
so.
there's like a Thor frog and like a
I
a
think-
squirrel.
I think. I don't know if it was related to that series, but it wouldn't surprise me.
I liked the. Weren't they? Or the old Peter Parker.
Oh, with
I
that,
liked that
suit.
whole story with him.
Yeah, that was tight.
I guess he was like divorced. Was he divorced?
Yeah, just like a broken man.
So I read this thing. It must be in the comics, but there's an alternate universe where Spider-Man ends up marrying Mary Jane, and later in life, Mary Jane ends up getting terminal cancer.
Dang. Oh,
And
because
she
of all the
fights-
radioactive nuts.
Because yeah, it turns out Spider-Man's man juices were radioactive, and over the years it gave her terminal cancer.
That's
and
terrible.
Then she died, and
The end.
that's the comic.
That's the end.
I saw that little tidbit and was like, well, okay.
Well, this is dark.
What
This
a-
shit-
what a very
Someone
dark
had a
comic.
very fun train of thought with all that.
Yeah. But he's had like 40 suits, I'm pretty sure. Something
Yeah,
ridiculous.
definitely.
And just about anything you can think of. That's pretty cool.
I do like the Iron Man making the suits.
The
those are
the
pretty
Scarlet Spider
No, I'm talking
Oh,
about
with the legs.
Cool. Those are cool too.
That was tight. So, what do you boys think? Let's do a rating. How about Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, Tobey Maguire?
On a scale of 1 to 10?
Sure.
Wait, we're just rating the movie, right? Or the movies.
Yeah, just like Tobey Maguire, scale 1 to 10.
6. Oh wait, Tobey Maguire.
first
6.
one.
The Tobes.
6.
6. I will also say 6.
I'm gonna give that one a 5.
Okay.
Have to be different. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Chase?
8.
I'm actually going to give it a 4.
I was gonna say 3.
Oh, whoa. Sean.
I
Holy cazoli.
he's too cool. It just completely took me out
Alright,
of
this
it.
time we're going to start with Sean.
I
Sean.
want Andrew Garfield to listen to this and be like, hell yeah, I'm cool.
Sean, Tom Holland, Spider-Verse movies.
The movies.
Movies. Civil
Oh,
War,
oh.
Homecoming, and Far From Home. Far From Home? Is that it? Yeah, I think it's
A
Far From
2.
Whoa.
I did not like them. How many times have I come to you, Chase, and was just like, damn it, I'm so mad about these movies.
Well, I mean, you haven't finished them, so
See, yeah, exactly my point.
his 2 doesn't matter. My opinion
Yeah,
on
I know
Tom
you're Tom
Holland's stuff, I'd say a 5.
5.
I really like Tobey Maguire more.
Wow.
I forgot what you said for Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield was an 8.
Oh, okay.
Tom Holland, I'm going to give it 7.5.
7.5.
I the only thing I really didn't like about it was MJ. I thought Tom Holland did good. I
like
I
Tom
liked
Holland.
everything else.
What did you think of Mysterio? I know Mysterio is one of your favorite.
I don't know. It was okay. I feel like MJ just kind of ruined it for me. I liked the fight scenes, and I like Mysterio. I thought they did him a little weird, but the fight scenes were cool, and
See, but
I don't
like
know.
everything else about that movie completely takes it out of it for me.
Yeah, again, my only real thing is MJ. Sometimes his friend was a little weird, but and again, Aunt May being young, I thought was kind of weird,
Yeah.
and how Tony was like hitting on her. I'm just like, nah, that's weird.
And
Please,
like
please
the
don't
bodyguard.
do that.
Isn't he the director?
Happy.
Happy.
Is that Favreau?
Favreau. John Favreau, or whatever.
Was he the director or the producer or something?
Oh, I have no idea.
He is for Mando.
Yeah, for Mandalorian, but I don't know.
Okay, last rating, Into the Spider-Verse.
I haven't seen it, so I have no dog in this race.
7.
Based on what I've seen, it looks pretty cool.
I'd say 8.
7 and
8. 8.5.
I of all of these, Into the Spider-Verse was my favorite.
Well, so there you have it. That's Spider-Man.
Join us next time where we will be talking about electrical fires.
There's one now.
It's dry out there, kiddos.
Peace out.